I want to talk about an incident with the police. It was a case of mistaken identity. Nobody was harmed. Nobody was hurt physically. But whoa, I didn't even know that this was a thing. They said you have to have at least 100 followers to go live on Facebook. So Brn Wrthy actually has a Facebook page. And I normally go off my personal LKG page, but Brn Wrthy has a actual Facebook page that you guys can go follow. That's BRN WRTHY Wrthy. Tap in, check in. So we got 3 topics. I wanted to talk about the 11-year-old getting handcuffed off of a case of mistaken identity. And I'm going to touch bases more on YouTube. You got to go on YouTube because I got the video. I got the audio. You got to go on YouTube. You got to go on YouTube. You got to check out on YouTube. You have to check the YouTube out. You have to check the YouTube out. Yeah, for sure. So we have 3 topics for you. And actually, so I'm actually doing something different this time. I'm live on Facebook right now. We got OBS up. We live on YouTube right now. I'm gonna eventually cut the Facebook off because I don't want to play the YouTube content over Facebook and get some type of penalty. Yeah. So we have an 11-year-old that was handcuffed. And the thing was, she an 11-year-old and her sister were walking home from school. They were playing. To the police eventually caught up with them and then pulled her over. And when they pulled her over, they handcuffed her and the younger girl. And it's so amazing how that the generation, what is this? Generation Z? Yeah, I think Generation Z and, Generation Z. So Generation Z was basically born with phones, right? They always had phones. They always had tablets. When your parents wanted you to kind of like, hey, go here, look at your tablet. When we're driving, look at your tablet, look at your phone. When we're doing anything that does not occupy, that does not, need for us to use our mind, think, you get to the point where they're like, hey, just go ahead, get the phone, get the tablet. So, and by her being, or by these younger kids looking at the YouTubers, looking at social media, looking and being connected in the world the way that they are, they have gained street skills that I think that are not being looked at these days. The power of that phone. I know that there are tons of content and literature about people doing studies on the uses of cell phones and the impact that phones have on culture in neighborhoods, in homes, in relationships. There's a huge science around that, I'm pretty sure. But because they was always raised around this, it was just so good that she was able to gain this skill and use it in real time that really kind of like helped shed some light on this situation and really kept the thing a bit neutral, because even though they were kids, the police officers was not disrespectful. You know what I mean? They could have put their phones in their face, like the hands in their face, hey, give me the phone, or get out of here, or move them along, or switch them along, like, hey, you're just children. But the police officers were very respectful in the sense where they gave the kids the conversation. They kept everything calm. And so did the kids as well. These are children, 11-year-olds. You know what I mean? These are 11-year-olds coming from school, and they just got done playing in the snow. And the reason why they ended up getting pulled over by this police officer was because the lady, listen to me, the girl, the 11-year-old, fit the description of the perpetrator. She fit the description of the perpetrator. And this is the reason why you have to come on YouTube. You have to come on YouTube because I'm showing pictures of the girl on YouTube right now where They don't actually have. They have a face blurred out due to her being a minor. They got a video. I'm gonna play the video in a minute, but I'm gonna have to hop off. I'm gonna have to hop off Facebook so that I can play it on YouTube, man. Go follow the Brn Wrthy YouTube page, man. Go follow the Brn Wrthy YouTube page. Matter of fact, I'll post this on my Facebook. I don't want to do it on that one. Let's do it over here. Yeah, so they got a video. I'm gonna play the audio. I'm gonna play the full video of the interactions between the police handcuffing an 11-year-old girl, bringing her to tears, thinking that she's about to go to jail because she fit the description of a girl that hijacked a car earlier that day. I will give the police this, right? I seen the picture, and if you come to YouTube, you can see the picture yourself. They actually got the picture of the girl that they were looking for versus the girl that they had detained. Now, I'm not gonna lie. They wearing the exact same clothes. That is weird. They literally wearing the exact same clothes. That is weird, bro. Like that. Now that's a coincidence. Now in the court of opinion and in the court of law, they don't believe in coincidences. So like when you talk to the police and you go be like, "Hey man, well, what are you doing over here?" Well, hey man, just coincidence. I'm just going from the stove. We don't believe in coincidence. What are you doing in this same vicinity at the same time that a crime was committed? So they don't really. They can't just say like, hey, well, which they don't even know that this is an 11-year-old girl at the time. You know what I mean? Like, so they pull this girl over, and these are kids. Like, you can look at this girl that they're looking for. Like, she looks like a kid. And if you watch the video on TikTok or you watch the video on Instagram, shout out to the neighborhood. What is it called? The neighborhood talk. I think that's where I saw it at first. Man, go check that video out and you'll be able to see like, man, yeah, you can tell it's a kid. And then you look at the other girl, it's like, yeah, you can tell that's a kid as well. And it's like the what do they call it? The Terry stop. It's called the Terry stop. And the Terry stop in Illinois is basically the police can stop you if they believe that you've just committed a crime. Right, if you're acting suspicious, or if you looks that you have just committed a crime, or about to go commit a crime, that's the Terry stop in Illinois. So basically, what these officers did to this child was a Terry stop. All right. I gotta go to YouTube. I have to go to YouTube. YouTube is where I could be able to play this video and show y'all, man. It gets to the point where they go and they look at like 3 other officer squad cars come. Y'all know how police collect. And then, they got to the point where like, hey, we finna put you in the back of the car. And then she's crying. Like, this is traumatizing. This is an 11-year-old child that just came from school. Like, she's not in the streets. So, like, this is, so I can imagine how much it kind of gotten under, her skin to the point where this could be traumatizing. It could pierce the mental to the point where this is traumatizing, man. Because she just started breaking out crying, and it was like, even though they I will say this too in the show, in the video, that they do say, hey, you're the wrong person. Sorry, you could tell how you guys look alike. You guys look like twins, and can I get a hug? I think one of the officers gave her a hug at the end, and I don't have an issue with the police giving the girl a hug to try to console her, to repair some type of mental perception of the police, because this may have been the only interaction, and hopefully this is the only interaction that she has to have with the police. But if this was a first reaction, even though you're raised in poverty, right? You can be raised in poverty and still, you can be raised. Like, I feel like I was raised in poverty, but there was still a lot of the movements around me that I didn't quite understand. There was a lot of stuff that went over my head, or things that I just simply didn't pay attention to because I wasn't living a certain lifestyle. You know what I mean? And I'll be honest, I woke up this morning, I think it was like 4:30 in the morning, and I saw this video at like 4:30 in the morning, right? And it's like the first thing I seen as soon as I'm waking up, brain trying to process where I'm at, what's going on. You know what I mean? You know the thing the brain does when you first wake up. And man, I watched this video and I watched the entire video and I watched the entire video one time because one time was all I could take. Because this video brought me to tears. It was traumatizing. And the reason why it was traumatizing, and I'll say this before I hop off of Facebook Live and then go over to YouTube, Brn Wrthy, BRN WRTHY. I will say this and why this video brought me to tears. I remember one of the places I was in when I was in Cook County Jail was Division 11. And in Division 11, you're on an island. It's like, it's the county 26 in California is this huge campus. And then there's this one island that's on its own. It's part of Division, it's part of Cook County, but Division 11 is like its own little maximum security little thingy, right? So in order to get from point A to point B, you have to wake up super early, right? You have to wake up super early, and then you get your ID and stuff. They give you the ID out of the folder when you walk off the wing, and you make that right or left, whichever wing you're coming off of. I think I was on D wing, so I came out and made it right. And then we waited in front of the gym until everybody lined up. You get on that you get on that elevator, go down, and you go to a bullpen. Right, so like everything is bullpens. If you in the county jail, especially Cook County, if you in Cook County jail, everything is bullpens. Bullpen. You're waiting in a bullpen for hours. So you get sent down to your first bullpen until you wait till the bus come and everybody get put on the bus. You get put on the bus. You drive around the corner. You go to the courthouse. Now, when you're in the courthouse kind of got newer holding cells. Newer doors, windows, and stuff like that. Newer, I say it with quotations for the people that can't see me. And because I was the last person to get on the bus on this significant time that I'm recalling, because I was the last person to get on the bus, I was up front, which means I was the first person to get off, which means I would be the first person to get to the bullpen door. And I go, you got to take the stuff off, and then you got to go through the metal detector, and then they tell you which of the two holding cells that you're going to go into. And not the two holding cells you're going to go into, which holding cell you're going to go into. And then the newer ones, they got the doors. They don't got bars. They got doors. They got steel doors with glass on it, and then it has tint on it. So it has like reflective tint where you can't see in it, really, but you can't see out. They can't see it out either. So when they slide this door open, right, and that's what it does. There's no key to get in. There's no key to like they hit their buzzer and then it slides. And that's this door sliding slowly, right? It's slowly showing me like glimpses of people are being revealed. You know what I mean? And as the doors open, I'm starting to see inside of this holding cell. And mind you, it's about 24. It's probably about 24 to 30 people with me coming into this holding cell, right? When the door opens and I look inside, there's nothing but people inside of this holding cell, like packed. They're like packed inside of this holding cell because we're Division 11. All of the other divisions have already touched down. This is not the holding cell that I'm talking about. Where you try to go in, it's not down where there is a video. Like if you go to the county building, you got to go downstairs and then you got to go. And then you have to wait and you have to see where they're gonna put you at, because it's this big holding cage. Like if anybody like pay attention to social media and y'all saw that time that King Von got broke out of his handcuffs, he got broke out of his handcuffs and then he went to and then he ended up getting into that altercation with the guy that was in there. You know what I mean? That's the room that I'm describing that we're not going to. That's like the main room that you go upstairs to go to your court holding cell. Not that one. This one, yeah. So this one, it slides open, and once you go inside, they slide it back, right? So they open this door, and it's nothing but guys inside of here, and they're packed. You can't even move in there. And it's like about 30 other guys that need to get in here. So I find we have to go in there. So everybody go in, everybody scooching and trying to figure out who they know, looking where they can stand, where they can sit, squat, lay, whatever they can try to do, you know. They would know we're going to be in there for a very long time. And I remember just kind of looking around at one point, and I couldn't believe how many young people it was. That's when I realized that prison, jail, all of that type of stuff, that's like a young person's game. Like if you can't get your life in order early, like, yeah, kind of go through that system. That's the kind of system, the program you go through. You kind of go through it, you get it over with or whatnot, or you don't learn from it. Or something is going to happen that's going to transfer you at a young age because your brain's still developing. It's not an old person game. And there was so many young guys in there. I'm talking freshly 18. Like, I remember going to court some of these days, and some of these same guys were wearing green jumpsuits in a whole nother cell because it's two. Oh, matter of fact, that is division. No, downstairs, that's division 11. I'm thinking about where they got 2 holding cells, and then they got 1 holding cell across from that where the kids that are wearing the 17-year-old, the young guys, wearing the green jumpsuits before they turn 18. And these guys are just first 18, 19 years old. And there was just so many of them in there. You know, it had to be over like 200 young guys in there. And I'm just sitting there like, dude, like this is not good. This is not cool. Like, that hurt my feelings so bad, man. I start crying over that. I don't know why. I don't know nobody in there. I don't have not one friend, not one associate. I have not one neighbor. I don't know anybody from the Cannon Payton side of this room, but it hurts my feeling that this demographic is here like this in this manner. And then I obviously kind of like played a part in that world and being there to be able to see that in real time. So, you know, of course, no one's perfect, but yeah, that made me kind of feel some type of way. So I would like to definitely move on. I would like to move on to YouTube, Brn Wrthy. We are live on YouTube right now. I am about to start talking about this case, and not the case. I'm about to start talking about where the police basically detained an 11-year-old, and the mother's playing now. I wanted to play the audio to this. I wanted to get some reactions to the video. We're going to Brn Wrthy, BRN WRTHY. We live on there right now. We live on YouTube. We was live on Twitch earlier, man. I want to play this video. We got 3 articles, man. We got some sports in there. We got some music in there. But I got to play all of that on YouTube. I can't play it on Facebook because I don't want to get in trouble. And I'm kind of done talking to the point where I would like to start playing the audio and get the visuals, get the reactions. Some important stuff, man. And tune in because I'm going to also be talking about this Naziah Harris case, bro. Oh, my God, bro. So we're going to be talking about the Naziah Harris case. The guy, this guy, if you guys don't know about Naziah Harris, she is the young lady that her body is still not been found. She is presumed unalive. She was last seen with her mother's or her auntie's fiance, and through yeah, this guy's not a good guy, man. Like so there's through the discovery of the case, which I'm going to be showing. Y'all can go follow her too. I'm not a lawyer, but she like real insightful as far as like getting that paperwork and kind of doing her thing. And she was real big with the YSL case. She's still big with she's big with the Diddy updates. Now, really anything as far as pop culture, huge rap news is concerned, or huge hip hop culture is concerned. She covered the YouTube vlogger. She covered the Skip Bayless thing. She's covering the YNW Melly case. So she got 2 breakdowns on the Naziah Harris case. Again, her body has not been found. He has not gone to trial. So even after pleas from the family, they would ask, "Can you tell us where her body's at?" So I would like to play her video and get her reactions, and then obviously get my reactions from that as well. And then we go talk about Silk Road owner could possibly be expunged by Donald Trump. I don't know if you guys know the history of this website, and I don't know if you know the history of the owner. I think his name is like Ross. I'm not even going to attempt the name. It started with like a W though. Ross. No. It started with a U. You start with a U. It started with a U. But I can't pronounce it, and I'm not going to try to. But I know his first name is Ross. It's a guy that got so much amount of money from doing this illegal website and allow people to buy a variety of things with crypto. I don't see why he would be wanting to pardon him, but he made his campaign. He made some people on the campaign trail a promise that he was going to get him out of there. I don't know. I was not using Silk Road. I was not using phones and computers and stuff like that enough to know what a Silk Road was. I wasn't drinking or smoking or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And this is the thing that when I tell you, like, there are things and workings and movings around people that, like, it just happens, and like you know, you just unaware of it. It just goes over your head because you're not looking for it or paying attention to it. Like, this is one of those things, and they saying it was just ridiculous, crazy things they was doing on here. Yeah. So I want to talk about Silk Road. I want to talk about Naziah Harris, and I would like to talk about the 11-year-old that got the 11-year-old minor who was detained from mistaken identity. All right, Facebook, I got to get off of here. I'm going over to YouTube so I can play the videos and get the reactions. Splat. Okay. So I'm finna get myself ready. Let's play a track. No. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna jump right into Naziah Harris. Right? No, we're not gonna do that either. I'm super all over the place, but we're gonna get through it. We're gonna we're gonna hear from the mother of the handcuffed 11-year-old speak out. Officer gives account of situation. And to be fair, you know what? I'm going to give my fair. You know, one thing that I learned in philosophy is that we must be fair when giving our critiques. Right? We don't want to put words in people's mouths. We don't want to, you know, we don't want to create straw man fallacies. Right? We're not doing that. So let's start off with the mother of the handcuffed girl. She speaks out. Yo, chat. How's they coming with these ads? Right? Like, how are they coming with these ads? Yay. So, wait. Because I don't want to make a mistake and then play the wrong thing. Let me make sure you guys are off. Okay.
Yesterday, brought to tears over a crime she did not commit. Good evening, I'm Matt Mulcahy.
I'm Megan Coleman. Deputies held her Monday night for about 7 minutes, believing she stole a car. That child's mother is outraged tonight. She spoke with our Connor White. He is live for us in Syracuse tonight. Connor?
Megan, Matt, that video shows that deputies were likely going to bring that little girl downtown until they finally realized that the suspect they were looking for had longer hair than the 11-year-old they had in handcuffs. A walk home from school interrupted by Onondaga County Sheriff's deputies.
Wait, I'm actually so confused. I'm scared.
A young girl starts recording after 2 deputies place her 11-year-old cousin in handcuffs.
You guys can keep going.
No, I gotta stay with her.
The deputies explain that this girl matches the description for a young person who allegedly stole a Kia.
Those are Primo pants.
Pink check, exact same description.
Yeah.
The children repeatedly tell the deputies that they have the wrong girl. They're ignored.
Girl, you gonna tell me this ain't you?
The deputies insist that the 11-year-old girl in handcuffs is lying, showing them a photo of the suspect. When other deputies arrive and the reality of the situation sets in, she starts crying.
That's not her. Wait, can I?
This child's mother, agreeing to speak to the I-Team anonymously, is beside herself.
She no longer wants to walk to and from school anymore. That was the only freedom she had, and it's now gone.
Eventually, the deputies realize the girl they placed in handcuffs is not their suspect. One of the deputies seems to say that the alleged car thief they're looking for has longer hair.
I'm sorry, Mom. You matched the description pretty clearly.
Okay, let's go, guys.
Good to go, okay? I'm sorry.
Mom is not accepting the apology.
I can't make sense of it. I couldn't even finish watching the video. Even if it wasn't my child, I wouldn't be able to finish watching the video because that's not how you handle children.
Late this evening, the sheriff's office released a statement saying that Sheriff Tovey Shelley met with the mother this afternoon. He described it as a productive meeting. They also clarified that the deputies, in their opinion, did everything by the book, saying that they are within their right with certain provisions to be able to put juveniles in handcuffs. We've reached back out to see whether or not there was actually a formal apology, as that was not clarified in their statement. Reporting in Syracuse, I'm Connor White.
Thank you.
All right. So they ended up letting her go because her hair wasn't as long as this girl's hair was. And you can't see that. All right, let's see, can we do it? Let's see, can we do it? Do. Nope. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Chat. All right, chat. So they basically said, they basically said the reason why we're not going to detain you anymore is because your hair isn't as long as the suspect that we're looking for, which is this individual here. Oh wait, I gotta show it to you. Bam, they did it. Oh, man, OBS is nice. All right, so this is her, right? All right. So they was like, they like, so pink jackets, fatigue pants. But what got them is this, the hair. Okay. The hair. She got braids in. She got braids. Now, the thing is, here's the timeline. Oh, AY. She could cut her hair. She can cut her hair off. She can undo the braids. Yo, shut up. right? Look, she got the brakes. You know, obviously brakes can be taken down. So they didn't know about the hair though. They didn't really realize. A lady ended up coming and getting the photo from the male officers who didn't look and think about the hair, and that's what the female officer did. And then once the female officer realized, hey, this girl has long hair, this isn't the person that we're looking for. So they end up letting her go, right? Okay. All right. Okay. So her hair being short, they were like, all right, you can go. Well, what are you saying? Well, she could have took her hair down. This could have been another day. Nah. All of this happened in one day. This happened January 12th, 2025. At 1:53, a stolen vehicle, a gray Kia from I'm reading the wrong information. A stolen vehicle, a gray Kia, was observed on Grand Boulevard. The deputy continued to follow the vehicle while other units responded to assist. 5 minutes later, 1:58, support units in the area and a traffic stop is initiated. Vehicle flees. 2:05, vehicle stops at Cannon and West Corning Avenue. All 4 occupants bail and flee on foot. 2:07, a 14-year-old driver is in custody following a foot pursuit with no issues. 2:12, descriptions of the other 3 occupants broadcast via radio, which is how they ended up, stopping this young lady. It says 2 male at 2:18, 2 males matching the descriptions were observed at an address at Norwell Street and a couple of blocks away. Multiple units respond to assist. So it sounds like they got 3 out of the 4 people and they're looking for the girl in the pink coat. Right? That's what they're looking for. They're looking for the girl in the pink coat. They got the other 3 people. They looking to strike 3 for 3, and she is holding up that process, right? So they think they got their girl, and it was not her. Okay. So 2:38, female observed on Midland Avenue, Fernwood, that matched the description. At 2:40, female is detained without force. The female is wearing the exact clothing as broadcast via radio. The female is in close proximity to the stop location, 1 block west and 5 blocks north, approximately 1,800 feet or 0.35 miles. At 2:42, cell phone picture of dash cam footage is requested to help expedite the process. And at 2:43, cell phone image is received and compared to detained female. The resolution of the image and close similarities: pink puffy jacket, camo pants, white shoe, pink bag, to warrant further detainment. Consultation with the deputy from the traffic stops begins. Bum, 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 bum. All right, so 2:46, deputy with direct view of dash cam footage uses FaceTime to view detained female and determines she is not a suspect. Largely based on the camo pattern of the pants, the grain of the puffy jacket, the length of the hair, and the complexity difference. At 2:47, female is no longer detained. All right? And then you heard the mom speak out on it earlier. You heard me talk about it earlier a little bit, so we're going to switch to the next topic. we are going to now go and take a visit to the I Am Not a Lawyer But page on TikTok. So I want to give you guys, this is a murder case where this guy who was presumably engaged to a relative of Naziah Harris, but he was just taking advantage of a young, vulnerable child, having intercourse with her over time, manipulating her, brainwashing her, and ultimately she ended up pregnant, and then she ended up missing. And she is presumed unalive, and it really sucks, man. It really sucks. So let's just kind of get some background on this then.
I'm not a lawyer, but I am a mother, and there is a case out of Detroit that has absolutely broken my heart. Let me tell you everything you need to know about why this man has been charged with the death of this 13-year-old little girl. And yes, it's what you're thinking. Okay, so the first thing you need to know is that this is a circumstantial case. There's no body, no weapon, and no eyewitness.
Correct. It says that the cause of death remains unknown, which, Judge, obviously Ms. Quake is getting to one of the main issues in this case and one of the big questions in this case that I anticipate is going to be a defense argument.
We all know that that's one of the big issues here in this case. So I will admit it with your objection noted.
A little bit of context to set you up. This is Naziah Harris. And in
2024,
which is the year she went missing, she was living with her grandmother, Annette Harris, her aunt, Shannon Harris, and her aunt Shannon's 5 children. Naziah's biological mother was not in her life.
Now, you are Naziah's maternal grandmother, right?
correct,
You're also her adopted parent, right?
correct.
And you said you adopted her in 2016.
Yeah,
Is her birth mother still around?
she is.
Okay. Does she have a relationship with her?
No,
She doesn't have any type of relationship, no contact with her that you know of?
well, let me say this, I don't deal with my daughter, so she really didn't have no contact with Naziah like that. She only came around now and then.
Now, the father of Aunt Shannon's 5 children is this man, 41-year-old Jarvis Ramon Butts.
Do you have any children?
Yes,
How many kids do you have?
5.
And do all your kids have the same dad?
Yes,
Who's their dad?
Jarvis Butts.
Jarvis has apparently like 13 kids. He works as a mechanic and he owns an auto body shop with this man whose name is Brn Wrthy, aka King. And this body shop that the two own and work at is not too far from where Naziah lives with her grandmother. Police say that on January 9th, 2023, Naziah gets off her school bus, but instead of heading home to her grandmother's house, she instead heads toward Jarvis's shop.
It is January 9th, 2024, 2:54 p.m.
Now, before she reaches the shop, Jarvis and King see her as they are on their way back from picking up a part from the auto store.
On our way back from AutoZone, I believe we forgot something. So we ended up turning back around, going back to AutoZone, grabbed whatever we forgot, came back. And on our way back, we was coming down Harper. Jarvis said, I see my niece right there, she walking. We pulled into Angel's liquor store. I still didn't see her. He pointed across my face, said she right there. She was coming across the street at that time. She got in the truck with us. She spoke, hi King, hi Jay, and we proceeded back to the shop. We started working on the Jaguar, putting the parts back on.
Now, multiple people testify about seeing a little girl with Jarvis on January 9th, the day she went missing, including Jarvis's own sister, who brought her car up to the shop that day.
And what's the reason that you went and talked to Detroit police?
I had reason to believe that I saw Naziah the day she went missing.
Okay. From the very beginning, where is it that you think you saw Naziah?
At the shop on Harbor Encounters.
Okay, and whose shop is that?
My brother Jarvis Butts and his partner.
What's the reason you were at your brother's shop that day?
Something was wrong with the car that I was driving, and I just needed him to check it out to make sure it was safe for me to drive.
Okay. Do you recall about what time did you go to Jarvis's shop that day?
About 4 p.m., give or take a few minutes. So I was sitting outside of the shop in my car because they were working on another car on the inside. As I sat there for the time that I was there, I kept seeing a little girl get in and out of his truck, going to the gas station and going back to his car.
Do you get a look at this little girl that you see getting in and out of his car?
I saw her as she was walking. I never saw her face. I just remember her having on a colorful jacket.
Did you know who this little girl was at the time?
No.
And did you ever ask Jarvis who the little girl was?
Yes.
And what did he tell you?
He told me, and I can't remember if it was this exact word, or he said it's my partner's niece, or he said it was King's niece.
Okay, but you knew who he was referring to?
Yes.
Okay. Did you think anything of it at the time?
No.
Okay. Okay, and what is it that made you think something different?
I received phone call, a video call from one of his kids' mom. She told me about some things that happened on Valentine's Day, and then she sent me a video of a podcast about my brother.
So, based on those, do you go and talk to someone else?
Yes.
Okay. Who do you go and talk to?
His partner, King.
Okay.
After I mentioned to him that I had only saw my nieces and one particular little girl, he then told me that that was Neziah that I saw that day, and I was there.
What is it that you did after speaking with King that day?
I called Shannon Harris and I asked her for Sergeant Jones' phone number.
Okay. And,
Whew. So again, January 9th is the last time that anyone's seen or heard from Neziah, and Jarvis is the last person that she is confirmed to have been with. Which leads me to the second thing that you need to know about this case, and that is, while the case is circumstantial, the circumstances are pretty strong. This picture of Neziah was taken the day that she went missing. And pay attention to her glasses because it turns out Jarvis asked one of the mother of his children if he could borrow her car. But when he returned it, he left something in there.
when is it that Mr. Butts borrowed your vehicle?
January 9th. He called and asked if he can use my car to do something with his son. I didn't get home till about 9 o'clock, and he came to my house to pick my car.
Is that 9 a.m. or 9 p.m.?
9 p.m.
9 p.m.? When did Mr. Butts return with your car?
The next morning.
Was this normal, abnormal?
No, not normal.
Not normal? Okay. Did you notice anything in the back seat that was different?
There was a pair of glasses that was left that my son was playing with at the time. I believe they were clear around the frame part. I don't know what the ends look like, but I do remember they were clear around the frames.
Okay. So you're at the shop. You see your son playing with the glasses. You take them from him. Is that yes?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay. Now, tell me, what does Jarvis do?
He snatched them from me and said those were his son's glasses.
Okay.
Police also looked into Jarvis's phone location data to track his whereabouts and conduct some searches along those lines to see if they can find anything connected to Neziah. And they did.
As we did our workup and we're looking at different locations that Mr. Butts had been to, as we start breaking down the phone mapping a little bit more on Mr. Butts' phone, it kind of led us to 7 Mile and Berg. So 7 Mile and Berg, there is, it used to be a golf course, which is now shut down. And then on the other side of Berg, there's a parking lot where it has like a vacant building, which used to be the clubhouse for the golf club. And then right behind that parking lot is the Rouge River. We searched the complete river from 8 Mile all the way down past 96 on foot with cadaver dogs, in boats, in the water.
What evidence did you find?
We collected a pink jumpsuit, like bodysuit style, and then a black hoodie that had a pair of white headphones in one of the pockets, some gloves, a towel, and a pair of red, black, and white gym shoes. That is one of the black, red, and white gym shoes that we collected from the wooded area. That is the black jacket that was collected. It is towards the front of the photograph, kind of behind that tree branch. So yes, that is the paper and the pair of headphones that was recovered from that pocket. So So that's going to be the hood of that hooded jacket. We noted that there are several holes in the jacket of unknown origin. That is the pink jumpsuit that we recovered.
So how close was the Rouge River, I guess, to the area that you were searching?
So there was a large parking lot just off of the west side of Berg, and then there was an embankment leading down to the river. I would say less than 500 feet.
Come back for part 2 of this recap. Welcome to part 2 of the recap on what happened with Naziah Harris.
Now, the last thing I want to point out concerning these circumstances is that police also believe that they have a motive. Here's a little bit of Naziah's aunt Shannon testifying about some of that.
Can you kind of describe the relationship between Naziah and Jarvis?
Should be just the uncle and the niece relationship, no more than that.
And to fast forward, on January 21st of 2024,
Officer Gardner came to pick up Naziah's tablet. My mom asked me to put it on the charger. I put it on the charger. The tablet, before the tablet was picked up, I looked inside to this tablet. So the first thing I went to was Instagram, which I was scrolling. And I seen Jarvis Butt's Instagram page. I clicked on his page and I seen 2 messages.
were the messages of a sexual nature?
No.
Okay.
It was 2 sent pictures, but you can't really make anything out. It wasn't nothing there, but you know, the picture was sent. Called him while he was at work, asked him, what is these messages I seen between you and my niece? And he said, what messages? Said it's 2 particular messages that states out and it's a picture. And he stated that, I don't know, these messages, I told him what the messages were, and he said it was probably our children was messaging him. And I stated no, because I know how our children will text.
All right, now this is your warning. Police did access messages between then 12-year-old Naziah and 41-year-old Jarvis Butts, and it's bad. Really bad.
September 27, 2020.
All right, so that's enough for the video as far as that. If you want to go see part 2 of that, you can go follow her on
I'm
Instagram.
not a lawyer, but I am a wife.
Go follow her on Instagram. I am not a lawyer, but you can go follow her on TikTok. I'm not gonna play part 2. Part 2 is it was kind of hard for me to just kind of listen to part 2 that this grown adult 40-something-year-old man is talking to this girl, this 12-year-old. I don't know however old this girl was, 12 or 14, like this young girl. Like, man, dude, it's some evil people out here in the world, and they basically messaging back and forth about things that they've done to each other the day before, and for that little girl, I'm not gonna play part 2. But how it ends is they basically they have him locked up, and they are waiting for trial. The craziest thing is this was like a preliminary hearing. Right? This was nothing but all of this came off of a preliminary hearing to see if they have probable cause to keep him locked up. Crazy stuff, right? So she's still missing. There's no body. There's no weapon. There's just a bunch of circumstantial evidence. This man is wrong. They say innocent until proven guilty. F that. Right? Yeah, F that. All right, so let's jump into our last topic of today. Silk Road. Silk Road was a dark website that let people go and buy anything from drugs, guns, organs, people, He lets you shop anonymously, and yeah. So how about we listen to this FBI agent explain what Silk Road is, and then we'll talk about why President-elect Trump is, first of all, made a promise to his campaign to release him. And I think one of his slogans is promises made, promises kept, something like that. So he's looking to get this guy out. All right, let's see what this FBI guy got to say.
When I was an FBI agent, I had to kind of sell some of these cases, and this was a big drug case. You know, that's the way people saw Silk Road. So internally to the FBI, how I had to sell it, I had to find the worst thing on there that I could possibly find. And I think one time I saw a posting for baby parts. So let's say that you had a young child and that needed a liver. You could literally go on there and ask for a 6-month-old liver if you wanted to.
For like surgical operations versus something darker.
Yeah, I never saw anything that dark as far as people like wanted to eat body parts.
Yeah.
I did interview a cannibal once when I was in the FBI. That's another crazy story, but that one actually weirded me out.
Sorry, I just watched Jeffrey Dahmer documentary on Netflix, and it just changed the way I see human beings, because it's a portrayal of a normal looking person doing really dark things, and doing so not out of a place of insanity seemingly, but just because he has almost like a fetish for that kind of thing. It's disturbing that people like that are out there. So people like that would then be using Silk Road, not like that necessarily, but people of different walks of life would be using Silk Road to primarily, what was the primary thing? Drugs?
It was primarily drugs. And that's where it started. It started off with Ross Ulbricht growing mushrooms out in the wilderness of California and selling them. But really, his was more of a libertarian viewpoint. I mean, it was like, you choose what you want to do for yourself and do it. And the way Silk Road kind of had the anonymity is it used what's called Tor, or the onion router, which is an anonymizing function on the deep web. It was actually invented by the U.S. Navy back in the mid-90s or so. But it also used cryptocurrency. So it was the first time like we saw this birth on the internet of mixing cryptocurrency and an IP blocking software. So, in cybercrime, you go after one, the IP address and trace it through the network, or two, you go after the cache. And this one kind of blocked both.
Cache meaning the flow of money, physical or digital. And then IP is some kind of identifying thing of the computer.
It's your telephone number on your computer. So yeah, all computers have a unique 4-octet numbers. It's 123.123.123.123, and the computer uses DNS or domain name services to render that name. So if you were looking for CNN.com, your computer then translates that to that IP address or that telephone number where it can find that information.
Didn't Silk Road used to have guns in the beginning, or was that considered to have guns, or did it naturally emerge and then Russ realized like this is not good?
It went back and forth. I think there were guns on there, and he tried to police it. He told himself the captain of the boat, so he had to follow his rules. So I think he took off those posts eventually and moved guns elsewhere.
What was the system of censorship?
All right, so you got a sense of what Silk Road was. All right, and let's listen to who.
Hey, sorry for interrupting. Isn't that annoying? What if I...
Yeah, it is annoying. Thank you for saying it. You're awesome.
Agents entered a public library in San Francisco. They arrested...
So now this is the arrest of Ross Ulbricht.
29-year-old Ross Ulbricht. Ulbricht ran the largest, most sophisticated online market for illegal drugs in history. He named it Silk Road, a reference to the ancient trade routes that connected China to Europe, beginning in the 2nd century BC. Ulbricht hoped to create his own modern-day marketplace, except his would sell hardcore drugs and other illegal goods. Over the 2 years and 10 months that Silk Road operated, federal prosecutors say it processed nearly $214 million in sales using Bitcoin. The site operated on a hidden part of the internet called the dark web, Prosecutors say a journal the FBI found on Ulbricht's computer stated he wanted to create a website where people could buy anything anonymously, with no trail whatsoever that could lead back to them.
Unfortunately for Ulbricht, he did leave a trail of digital breadcrumbs that ultimately took him down and his empire with it.
Ulbricht was born on March 17, 1984, in Austin, Texas. He was a Boy Scout, attaining the highest rank of Eagle Scout, just like his dad had done. He had a happy childhood, growing up an easygoing hipster but serious student who scored 1,460 on his SATs, within the 96th percentile, and got a full ride to the University of Texas at Austin, where he studied physics. He then won another full scholarship for a master's at Penn State in material science and engineering. Agent on the map, rating system for sellers, similar to libertarian mind developer and a venture-backed Bitcoin startup company. Anyone interested was to contact him via his email, rossulbricht@gmail.com. Making his email public would later come back to haunt him. He also got coding help from a buddy of his from undergrad, Richard Bates. Ulbricht had no choice but to eventually tell his friend what he was up to. He also told his girlfriend, Julia V. One day, he showed her the psychedelic mushrooms he was growing and selling as a starter product on his new website. Silk Road would eventually be a marketplace for all kinds of drugs: weed, cocaine, LSD, ecstasy, heroin. This fit Ulbricht's libertarian mindset. He believed that whatever someone decided to put in their body was their choice and no one else's, least of all the government's. Ulbricht also believed everyone had the right to self-defense when guns started appearing on Silk Road. However, he realized he didn't need the controversy and soon took weapons off the site. After getting his business up and running, he turned his attention to attracting customers. He decided to write a post on a magic mushrooms forum called the Shroomery, pretending to be someone who happened to come across Silk Road. He used the username Altoid, posting, "I'm thinking of buying off it, but wanted to see if anyone here had heard of it and could recommend it." He included a link with instructions on how to access Silk Road. He did the same on a Bitcoin community forum about buying and selling heroin, describing Silk Road as an anonymous Amazon.com. It wasn't long before buyers showed up. To limit scams, there was a rating system for sellers similar to Amazon reviews. If a seller sold bad drugs and got a poor rating, it would hurt their sales. The drugs arrived by mail with fake return addresses. They'd be slipped inside CD and DVD cases. Some sellers got even more creative and put them in little ripples of cardboard. The packages had printed mailing labels rather than handwritten ones to look like they came from a legitimate business. Ironically, that backfired. The printed labels actually attracted the suspicion of authorities. In the summer of 2011, Department of Homeland Security agent Jared Duryagian learned of a small, neat package with a printed address going through Chicago's O'Hare International Airport. It contained a single pink pill of ecstasy, which was also suspicious because usually they shipped in bulk. Soon, 2 or 3 packages began arriving, then 50, then up to 1,000 a day. Many came from the Netherlands, which is a notorious source of drugs. Agent Duryagian visited an address where one of the packages was to be delivered, chatted with the roommate of the buyer, who said the drugs came from a site called Silk Road. Duryagian had never heard of Silk Road before. He did some digging online and came across an article written by Gawker journalist Adrian Chen in June 2011. Chen wrote, "Making small talk with your pot dealer sucks. Buying cocaine can get you shot. What if you could buy and sell drugs online, like books or light bulbs? Now you can. Welcome to Silk Road." The article attracted 3 million views and put Silk Road on the map. Not only did Silk Road soon attract the attention of thousands of drug dealers and buyers, but also politicians, like Senator Chuck Schumer, who called for the site to be shut down. The US government was concerned, but not bride, who passed the name on to a chosen successor. In the same way, Ulbricht hoped to one day pass on the name Dread Pirate Roberts to someone who might succeed him. Variety Jones got him to see how big Silk Road could grow to be. Ulbricht wrote in a personal journal disclosed by prosecutors, "Silk Road is going to become a phenomenon, and at least one person will tell me about it, unknowing that I was its creator." In 2 short years, Silk Road grew to more than 100,000 users, with sales of nearly 214 million, including 13.2 million in commissions for Silk Road, according to prosecutors. The feds were left scratching their heads as they still had no clue who was the mastermind behind Silk Road. Who was this Dread Pirate Roberts? Who was the captain of the ship? It became somewhat of a competition amongst the various government agencies to be the one to identify Dread Pirate Roberts. To better understand how Silk Road operated, Department of Homeland Security agent Duryagian posed as a buyer and made 52 undercover purchases. He also seized thousands of packages, linked certain sales back to their source, and arrested several people. His biggest get came when he tracked down a Dread Pirate Roberts employee, a moderator on Silk Road's user forums, going by the name Cirrus. He forced her to hand over her account, and then he pretended to be her. Duryegian, posing as Cirrus, got assignments directly from Dread Pirate Roberts. He wasn't the only federal agent chatting with the Silk Road boss. DEA agent Carl Force was part of a task force in Baltimore that was also investigating. Force used the username Knob and posed as a drug dealer originally from the Dominican Republic who smuggled millions of dollars worth of cocaine and heroin into the US every year. He was on friendly terms with Dread Pirate Roberts, who had no idea he was speaking with a DEA agent, an agent who, in a twist in the tale, turned out to be corrupt. Force convinced Dread Pirate Roberts to pay him $50,000 in Bitcoin by claiming he had insider information from a government employee. When Force reported the conversation to the DEA, he claimed he never received any payment, when in fact, he funneled the Bitcoin into a personal account. And believe it or not, a second agent who worked on the same Baltimore task force was also stealing, Secret Service agent Sean Bridges. When Silk Road customer support rep Curtis Clark Green was arrested at his home with a kilo of coke, Bridges used Green's admin access to steal 20,000 Bitcoin from other user accounts. Dread Pirate Roberts thought Green to be responsible for the theft. He wanted to rough him up and got egged on by his mentor, Variety Jones. Dread Pirate Roberts knew Green's real identity because as a condition for being on Silk Road's payroll, staff had to hand over their government ID. Dread Pirate Roberts turned to Knob, aka DEA agent Carl Force, to beat up Green. Knob agreed. However, Dread Pirate Roberts then changed his mind and messaged, "Can you change the order to execute rather than torture?" Dread Pirate Roberts said he had, quote, never killed a man or had one killed before, but it is the right move in this case. He didn't want to risk Green giving up information to the authorities, as he knew he had been arrested when he searched him up online. Knob agreed to do the job for $80,000 in Bitcoin. Ulbricht later received photos of a dead Green, except he wasn't really dead. Agent Force staged Green's death, complete with photos of him on the floor, covered in Campbell's Chicken and Stars soup. The Dread Pirate Roberts is said to have ordered hits on 5 others whom he felt threatened by. Silk Road had been prey for blackmailers and extortionists. However, there was no proof that anyone was ever killed. Ulbricht was never charged with murder for hire. The government agencies were still nowhere closer to figuring out who was Dread Pirate Roberts. The DEA enlisted the help of the FBI's cybercrime team in New York, as it had more technological know-how, including experience with the dark web. FBI agent Chris Tarbell knew that in order to catch Dread Pirate Roberts, they had to wait for them to make a mistake. And according to the FBI, the Dread Pirate Roberts did finally slip up about a year after the agency started investigating. In May 2013, investigators noticed coding errors, vulnerabilities on the Silk Road website that leaked IP addresses. As a result, they discovered the Silk Road servers were housed in a data center in Iceland. By the way, Ulbricht's defense team doesn't buy this explanation. They believe the NSA spied illegally and tipped off the FBI to the server's location. Agent Tarbell flew to Reykjavik, where Icelandic authorities gave him a drive with information from the servers. The FBI accessed a treasure trove of data. They could see the number of transactions processed, who logged in and out, and crucially, Tarbell and his team had identified that the master computer Silk Road servers talked to, the one Dread Pirate Roberts used to log into Silk Road, was named Frosty. And Dread Pirate Roberts was logging in with an encryption key that ended with Frosty@Frosty. They could also tell Dread Pirate Roberts recently used internet from a San Francisco cafe to log into a Silk Road server via a VPN. By the spring of 2012, Ulbricht had returned home from Australia and eventually moved to San Francisco to live with a childhood friend. So now the FBI had the name of the computer and could focus their search on San Francisco. But still, no idea of Dread Pirate Roberts' real identity. That piece of the puzzle would be filled in by Gary Alford, who worked for the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service. As a tax investigator, he was assigned to follow the money, but instead
All right. So I think we got a good idea on what Silk Road is and who Ross Ulbricht is. President Trump is about to, he made a campaign promise to release him. I don't understand why he do it. I'm not understanding why everybody surrounding his campaign was so happy to hear that was a thing. there's obviously more to this story for sure, and I'm kind of clueless about it. I'm gonna do some more research on it, continue to look into it, and see what's what. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the guy made a website. He tried to get another guy killed. I guess they figured, which is crazy because technically they never charged him with murder. So they never charged him with murder with hire. So if President Trump do pardon him for, time committed served for his, that's basically what he do. He commuted sentence to time committed serve. Yeah, that's what it is. Time committed serve. And technically the feds could lock him back up, but they could lock him up for murder for hire. They never charged him with it. It's not double jeopardy. Okay. Yeah, let's see. We will see. We will see. My name is LKGSTONE. This is Brn Wrthy Talk. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you all. I'm out.